Welcome to Nitpicking Nerds, and today we're going to talk about MTG content creation.
We're talking about how we got here, and then what tips we'd recommend to anyone trying to make Magic content.
I'm Gay.
And I'm Beezy, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds, bringing you daily Commander content, sometimes about Magic content creation. If you want to support the channel, the simplest way to do that, honestly, is just hit subscribe. Just go boop, and then you'll see more of our videos. But if you want to take it a step further, go to Patreon, because that's the best way to support the channel.
Yes, you will be supporting us directly. Some indirect ways to support the channel include a TCG Player affiliate link in the description below. Go there, click the link, it'll take you to the website. Now you buy the Magic cards at the same price you would buy them anyway, but the nerds get money and you spend not an extra cent.
Wow, if you feel like giving us other people's money, DragonShield.com also agreed to this. You can go to the EU or the US link, and if you start with the link and buy any sleeves or product or all that stuff, we get a kickback from them, not you.
They literally have the best sleeves in the multiverse.
Good sleeves.
Yes. So hopping into this video, we're talking about MTG content creation today. Something that has become our careers over the past couple of years, and it's something that we're going to keep pursuing for a long time. Now, I want to say from the get-go that we're not 100% like an authority on how or what to do, but we can give you our best advice and tell you where we come from. We're going to tell you our little journey and how we got here.
Yeah, we got the journey of how we got here, and then we're just going to throw out tips. You can take them. You don't have to take them, but this is what we'd recommend to anyone who's looking to start a YouTube channel or Magic channel or wants to make Magic content.
Yeah, so let's just hop into it. We're gonna start off with our little journey. It starts with two friends, literally, going, "Hey, let's make a podcast."
Oh, the classic. I actually just makes me cringe.
It's kind of cringy, yeah. We literally did it. We started a podcast about not Magic.
Just TV, pop culture.
So yeah, we got into that and we realized we weren't passionate about it because 6 months went by and we're like, we're not making any new content. Why are we just making nothing? It's like,
we don't care.
We don't care about this crap. It's fun to talk about random stuff, but what do we care about?
Right. I don't feel pressed to do anything. I don't feel like an urge.
Yes. So what do we care about enough to make a whole YouTube channel about? And the answer was Magic the Gathering.
We've both been playing it for a decade, so that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So we decided, let's do Magic the Gathering. So we hop into it and we start off talking about Modern.
We were just talking about, we had no focus.
Yes.
And then pretty quickly we zeroed in on Commander. What we started doing, the first inklings anyone got of the Nitpicking Nerds was our Commander Tune-Up series, which is as old as we are. And we were throwing out some deck techs and getting some traction through searches. And I know the deck tech scene very oversaturated. It still was back then, but it's for us as a new channel, it was one of the best ways to get out there.
It was. Something about it is we weren't getting a lot of views from recommendations, obviously, because of how there is an algorithm, there is ways to get into it, and obviously when you first start making videos, you don't just magic it in the algorithm unless you get extremely lucky.
Yeah.
That just doesn't happen. So we had to focus on search results.
Yeah, and found us in search.
So people would find us through search we would make a deck tech, and it just happened. I will to this day tell you right now, I have no clue what made certain tune-ups do well through search results and what made them not do well. It was the most random thing. We would make we made a Drotha one, and then we would make something of a more popular commander, and it wouldn't do well. Something of a less popular commander, it'll do really well. It's It was seemingly the most random stuff, but we started the grind of making weekly content.
Yeah, we started sharing stuff on social media. Really old fans of the channel will remember that we were on Reddit for a little hot minute there. We were sharing on Facebook, which we quickly gave up because that was just going nowhere. We also did a thing where, I think you'll know, we kind of reply to comments all the time. Still do that. Still want to keep doing that pretty much until I die.
Yeah, something about replying to comments that's interesting. When you're small enough, you should reply to every single comment. I think I would have, I'm being honest, I would have to spend 40 hours of work a week to reply to every comment now because we get so many, and it's beyond the point that I can't. Sometimes I sit there for 2 hours and I reply to every comment, and I realize, how far did you get? 12 hours ago.
There's 200 new ones.
There's 200 new ones, and I have to go back. It's crazy how many comments we get, but I still reply to a ton. So our first really ambitious project, something we threw, and I mean hundreds and hundreds of hours of work at, was ranking every commander. We took every single commander that had ever been printed, good, bad, or otherwise, and we rank them. We created a rubric. I think creating the rubric
Took a long time.
took like 20, 30 hours of work.
We like argued about it, but it ended up just we
Yeah, we
argued about
did.
so much crap. It was so stupid. But we haven't ended up getting everything in the way we liked it now. Every commander is ranked, and we're going to keep up the series. But that was part of the thing that helped take us off too, because everyone was like, the first couple episodes, whatever. But then as we kept going, like, oh, they're really doing this. Well, I'm going to watch the series. And they got a bunch of recycled views because, like, oh, somebody comes in for episode 14. Well, they got 13 other episodes they can watch.
It's funny. There's going to be a lot more advice coming up in a little bit.
This is more of a story time.
This is a lot about our story, but something that for me makes me cringe is Rank Every Commander is one of the coolest and most ambitious projects we ever did, and it's so much worse in quality than anything we do now.
Yeah.
This video's quality is like 10 times better than what we were creating back then, and
The first half, yeah.
It just makes me a little sad that we can't like go back and fix it. Maybe we will someday, but not right. But we can't go back and fix it right now. So that was how we got some popular going, and then something that was huge for us.
Yeah, fast forward to 2020.
2020, we have 4,000 subscribers. It's March, and if you know anything about 2020,
Wasn't great.
It wasn't great. It was actually the start of the pandemic, and that led to me losing my job, which let me throw myself head first into this. Like, first thing we were quarantined for 2 months.
Yeah, however long that was.
Yeah, and we were quarantined. Everyone was quarantined, and we just started throwing ourselves at this because we just had the free time. Then I lost my job, and I threw myself at it even more. BZ cut his hours at work to start throwing ourselves at this, and we just went head first into this. We dove into this, and we said, let's make this happen.
Yeah, here's our chance. Let's actually just go for it. We have some following, right? It was small, but we knew that we were getting traction.
It's crazy because it's 2 years. It's almost 2 years ago, like to the day, that this all started, and that's kind of crazy.
4,000 subscribers 2 years ago.
What percentage growth is that? Did you remember?
It was 1,400% growth.
Yeah,
we did the math for funsies.
Yeah, 1,400% growth since then to now, because we've grown so much of the channel. But one of the big things that helped us was just being able to put time into it. The time required to make a successful YouTube channel is a lot, and I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah, we got more influential over time, and gradually everything starts improving. We're buying better equipment, and then now we're here with 66,666 plus however many we got since then subscribers.
Yeah, and that's the basic Nitpicking Nerd story. We did a lot of growing along the way, and we're still growing. I mean, we're not going to stop. We're going to continue learning, getting better, and producing better content for the foreseeable future. I can't see anything stopping us from this point going forward. And we're going to keep getting better. This Magic the Gathering and Magic the Gathering content creation are 100% our passions. This is what we're putting everything into. I mentioned to BZ, and I thought this was an interesting thing, that if we started a random podcast, like in our spare time, off on the side, and it was, let's just say, for the sake of like the conversation, it was the 20th most popular podcast in the whole world, I wouldn't put everything into that. I would still focus on this channel because this is what I care about. This is the community I care about, and this is what I want to be doing.
Yeah, and with this video, we're not saying like we made it to the top, guys. We're finally here. We did it. We mastered everything. This is just like, hey, we've gotten the hard part out of the way for sure. We're on our way. We're sort of snowballing up, and let's give some tips, and if anyone wants to use them.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna start off with you're starting a new channel. So this is some advice. You're brand new to the game. You're saying, I think I want to make MTG content creation. Well, first off, if you ever want any advice for starters, you can DM me or BZ.
For sure.
We will talk to you about whatever, and we will give you our best advice that we can. Can I promise you that you're going to succeed even if you take all my advice? No, I cannot promise you that. But I will help you as much as I can from sitting at my computer at home, obviously.
Yeah, I could talk about this stuff for hours. It's really something I have come to enjoy. I love looking at the analytics. I love getting into the nitty gritty. I'm sort of I feel like I'm more of the behind the scenes guy.
Yeah. So one of the first things, if you're starting content creation, I think this is the most important thing.
Number one,
you should think about this before you make any videos. What do you want out of it? Now, your goals will change as your channel grows and changes. When we started, it started off as, let's just do this for fun. Let's see what we can do. There was no goals, really. It was like,
the goal was basically, the end goal was to make a video. That's really what it was.
Yeah, the end goal was make a video, see if we can get some views. Do we want a ton of views? No, we just want to get it out there. We want to throw ourselves onto YouTube and see what people think of us.
Yeah, other goals, there could be just for fun, trying to make money. Oh, I want this to be my full-time job eventually. Oh, I want to see how popular I can get. I want to maximize the views. There's any number of goals, but you got to figure out, why are you doing this? What's at the end? What's the optimal result of this.
I literally ask everyone who asks me for any advice on content creation, what's your goal with this channel?
You have to.
What do you want to do with this channel? Are you trying to, because I can tell you, like I said, our goals changed. We started off with, let's make a video. Let's have fun. Let's see if we can get more views. Let's optimize this a bit. And then eventually to the point, it's like, let's make this a full-time job. And now it's like, let's see if we can get to the top of the ladder in the MTG content creation game. Sure. It's like, that's what we're aiming for now. It's like, we want to keep making MTG content and just being the best we can be.
And just making people happy and help people learn stuff.
Absolutely.
This next bit is true of any point in the content creation journey. Don't make videos unless you enjoy it. If you stop enjoying it, at the very minimum, you need to take a step back, maybe reassess the goal at the end, and figure out what's wrong, because that's the main thing you want out of this, right? I mean, you want to have fun. Even with any job, it's like, if you're not having fun and you're miserable and this is like a chore, you should probably think of changing careers or hobbies.
Yeah, exactly. It's super interesting, especially if this isn't your career. Like, if it becomes your career, you might have to make a video when you don't want to. That might be something that happens if you choose this as a career path.
Right.
But that's not everybody. And if it's not your career path, I 100% don't think you should make videos if you're not enjoying it, if you're not having fun, or you're burnt out.
Yeah, if you put too much pressure on yourself, that's how you end up getting burnt out. I think we are fortunate and lucky, and we'll explain why later, not to have burned out all that much over the years, but it is definitely a thing that happens, and plenty of people, they kind of push themselves too hard, or not enough, like too hard for what they can handle, and then they end up burnt out and they stop making videos.
Yeah, I mean, I did it to myself once. I decided to, because this is when the pandemic started also, and I threw myself into content creation, I threw myself into streaming daily as well, and that was too much for me. Streaming daily,
killed you.
Making a video and editing a video almost every single day was way too much for me, and I just couldn't do it. It literally took me to a point where I was like, I'm not functioning. I'm not doing anything. I'm just tired all the time.
One of my favorite things about starting a new channel that is pretty much universally true, unless you've already started a channel, in which case this applied to you earlier and not now, is your first few videos probably going to suck. Like, they're going to be bad. You're going to look on them a year from now and just go, what was that? If you look at the first Nitpicking Nerds videos, we're like recording in a plastic bag in a basement. It's like, the quality is terrible. The editing is terrible. It's just, nothing is good. Our flow, our dynamic is crap, and it's just super bad. But guess what? You have to do it. If you don't take the like uncomfortable first step and make a video, then you can't get anywhere. And it's just like, if you go through and like have the courage, I guess, to produce one YouTube video, you are steps and leaps abound ahead of half the people who want to do this.
Yes. So content creation is an art, kind of like any kind of art. If you want to paint a picture, a good picture, you want to paint a masterpiece. Well, you don't just paint a masterpiece. That's not what happens. You paint 5,000 terrible pictures first. I mean, that's obviously an example.
Fridge doodles.
But you do a ton of bad work, and you slowly get better. And you keep going and going and going until you're good at it. And yeah, our videos sucked. I mean, even sometimes I look back even on videos we did like 6 months ago, and I'm like, man,
could have done that better.
We can just do that better, because we just grow and learn every single step of the way, and we're just going to keep getting better. I bet you in 6 months I'll be like, dang, we could have done better in that video.
I mean, also, you can't reflect 6 months from now saying I could have done better if you never do anything. You're just stuck at the beginning. People get frozen at the start of it and they put way too much thought into it. You kind of have to dive in when you're like starting. That's the most important part, is to just start. You don't need high-end equipment. You don't even need that much experience playing Magic or on YouTube. It depends on what your goal is, but you just don't need all of this stuff. You can record with an iPhone. You can sit down in your chair in your living room and talk about stuff.
Yeah, exactly. The Nitpicking Nerds started with a $30 camera, which we should have just used our phones, but that's not the point.
Yeah, it was worse than our phones.
It was worse than our phones. You started with a $30 camera and a $100 microphone. We spent $130.
We split it.
And we did
$65 each.
We literally sat down. We spent $65 each, and we just started doing videos. Now, obviously, there is stuff to be said about quality, and we're not experts on microphones, cameras. That is not our expertise. Please don't ask me what camera to buy, because I wish I knew more about this stuff, but I don't, and I can't tell you what camera to buy.
We're talking about creating the content more so than like recording it or editing it. Maybe that's a different thing for someone else to do, but we're talking about like making it all the brain ideas.
Another thing about it is you don't teach yourself to edit using the program. You don't have to become a master of editing. Now, obviously, when you look at something like what the Command Zone produces, they have editors. You literally chef's kiss. I mean, it is edited to like perfection. It is like Hollywood grade editing. And that's you can't expect to do that. You
No.
have to do what you can do the best you can do it, and you don't need to be an expert. We started on a stupid thing called WeVideo, and it was awful.
Shout outs to WeVideo.
WeVideo was some terrible thing owned by Google, I think.
Really?
And it's a terrible editing program that's in browser, and it sucks. It sucks. It has no tools, and it works like poop.
It just like if you try to make a video that's longer than like a half hour, it just crashes.
Yeah, and remember, we tried using a background.
Oh, the moving back. Go look at any of our moving galaxy backgrounds, and it just like skips. It just skips, and it doesn't work. So
Yeah.
but you can't worry about that. You gotta. That's us getting in and making.
You have to do the best
content.
you can. All we had was WeVideo.
Yeah.
Like, we couldn't afford Premiere Pro. WeVideo was like $10 a month. Like, all right, we could do $10 a month. Premiere Pro was like $300 a year. It's like, yikes, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. So when you're starting to make videos, there's obviously going to be things wrong with them, but you're going to have to interact with people now. Now that you've made videos, some people are going to see it, and you're going to get comments and criticisms and constructive feedback, and you're going to have to separate what's worth responding to and what isn't. And the important thing is to just handle the negativity well. It can really get to some people, and maybe either content creation or comments are not for you, where you just need to turn them off, because it can ruin some people's like entire, I mean, I don't want to say lives, but some people get destroyed by some of this negative feedback. And if you can't handle it, I think you need to assess that and how you'd react to it before it starts coming in.
Yeah, so you're going to be criticized. You're going to make content, you're going to get criticized. And now it's really hard because there is a line. There is constructive criticism. There are comments that are going to help you grow, that you can learn from and take something out of. But on the same note, there's just mean comments sometimes.
Yeah.
And you got to separate those, because somebody, like, will never forget this comment until this day. And
Last comment.
Literally, it was, what was it? It was 4 words. It was fat depression, referring to me,
Yeah.
skinny nerd, referring to Beezy.
So good.
That was the whole comment.
Right, obviously, that falls into nonsense. We can't. It's like someone just being a troll or being mean, and it's like, I'm not going to take anything from that. I'm not going to take that personally. It's just someone being an idiot for whatever reason, and that stuff is obviously separate from like, hey, liked the video, but your lighting was really rough. Here, you should try to fix it.
And like, one of the biggest things, like, lighting has been improved through comments. There's been, just our camera quality, audio, and another big thing that got through comments, our rapport, our back and forth. We had a much different approach in our early videos.
We bickered more.
We bickered. I mean, because we're best friends.
We just bicker.
We just bicker about stupid stuff all the time, back and forth, until we just stop. And that came into our videos, and we thought, this is fine. This is we're being ourselves. This isn't problematic, but it came off as being mean to each other.
Doesn't translate well.
Especially just the way it was. Some people were like, Beezy is so mean to Joe, and it's like,
hates Joe.
It's like, and that's just not true. Beezy is literally been my best friend for the past 6 years at least.
6 years? What are you, drunk? It's probably longer than that.
Well, I'm saying best friend. I'm saying we met 10 years ago. We've been like best friends for 6 years.
I accept.
Yeah.
So yeah, with all this negativity and stuff, you're gonna be monitoring your channel, and you're gonna get to see how well it does. I mean, I get to count my subscribers and my views and my metrics, and YouTube would tell you everything you could possibly want. How many viewers were eating a pizza while watching your video at the 2-minute mark? But important thing to do is to not tie your own self-worth to the channel, to the views, to whatever it is. I haven't had this problem, but I've seen infinite people who have, and it can be hard to not get down when views are down or subs are down. It's like, I have 0 views on this video I worked so hard on, but that doesn't affect what you're worth. I mean, maybe you made a video and it's not getting as much traction as you want, but you can't take it out on yourself.
Yeah, this is hard to do, and I'm not even gonna pretend like we just recently had a dip in views recently, and it felt bad, and it did make me feel a little worse. I think that kind of attitude is bad, and I obviously don't want to feel that way. Like, I don't want to feel bad or sad when my videos do worse, because it's going to happen. It's literally part of making content. There's ebbs and flows. You're going to have, like, our November through like January 15th was insane for us. It was our highest peak. It was great, and then we had a slump, and that's fine. That's going to happen. But the slump started to make me feel worse, and it's something I got to get better at, because that's just accept that sometimes views are worse.
We did find out that it's basically just magic wide. There's a little bit of a dip right now, and it might pick up. It might not. We got to roll with the punches. So speaking of roll with the punches and kind of improve and be constructive, one of the worst things you could ever do when making a channel is blame some unwanted outcome on the algorithm. This is like the boogeyman that everybody sort of turns to if they have a problem or they don't understand, and they just say, the algorithm hates us, or the algorithm is this. The algorithm is like designed to get videos that people want to watch to them. So it's really not discriminating against channels, channel size. None of that is taking into account. You're not getting bullied by the algorithm. Like, I can just promise that. It's more constructive to say, man, nobody watched this video, but my other video has 100 views. What's the difference? What happened? Did I change something? What could I improve?
Exactly.
It's probably something.
Exactly. And I've heard this around everywhere, the blaming the algorithm thing, not just Magic content, every kind of content creation.
Yeah, I've been on some, I've been on some like subreddits for smaller channels, and everyone's just complaining about it.
And it's just not, there's no reason to even worry about it, I would say, because ultimately, this gaming the algorithm or this kind of thing is not something I don't think anybody knows how to do.
No.
Because if people knew how to game the algorithm, they would just make a million different channels that all game the algorithm and all got millions of views. Yeah. But that doesn't happen.
How to hack the algorithm, a video that has 10,000 views.
I mean, the way to hack the algorithm is to make really good videos that people want to watch.
That's always the advice too. I get so mad. It's like, oh wow, make a good video, cool. You really beat the algorithm.
Yeah, exactly. So like the algorithm is not something you can control in any way. You just need to make the best videos you can, and you have to try and make them as watchable as you can. Find the things that people want to watch.
And I was also just checking out some of the sources from YouTube. They change the algorithm like hundreds of times a year. So it's not like you're gonna jump on it and then like stick on this thing. It's gonna constantly evolve, and you won't even know. So when you're gonna work on all this stuff and you're making these videos when you're a new channel, it's tough to look at something that took a long time or put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into, and not see the results that you want. Even if your goal was 10 views and you only got 3, that's disappointing. But it's also, on the flip side, working hard and putting time into something doesn't mean you deserve views. That's kind of it could be a toxic mindset to get in, like, hey, I did this, I deserve this result.
Yeah, and it's something that is so true. There's a lot of videos, like, let's just take our Commander tune-ups. Our Commander tune-ups are a lot of work. They're probably some of our most work-intensive videos where we take a whole deck, we follow a budget, we upgrade it, and we just change a ton of things in the deck, and then we talk about it afterward. And they're really long to edit. They're really long to script. They're really long. Every step of the way for a Commander tune-up is a lot of work. Those are our worst performing videos. And we have to just kind of, we do them for patrons, people who want us to do it for them. And we're not doing that one for the views. Time doesn't equal views. And on the same note, one of our 100,000 view videos, actually just passed 100,000. You mentioned it to me today.
Oh, yeah.
It's unplayable cards in Commander. Now, what we did is we talked about a high power level, and we just picked cards that we would never play once you pass that power level.
Right.
It has 100,000 views. When I mean we put no work into that video, I mean we were sitting in BZ's basement about to record. Like, what should we do for a video?
What cards do we hate?
And then we were on EDHREC scrolling. It was like the least work we've ever put into a video, and it exploded. It's 100,000 views.
Yeah, it was like, well, we captured something. There was demand for it, and we pulled it in. It's like, great, good for us. I mean, I wouldn't say that video deserved 100,000 views, but it got 100,000 views.
Yeah, because it's not about deserve or not deserve.
You're not entitled to anything from YouTube or really the world for the most part.
I actually kind of said that to me and BZ. Like, we were talking about views being down, and we were like a little like, why aren't we getting as many views as before? It's like, are we being? And I actually thought, I'm like, we're being too entitled? I thought we were, at least. It felt like we were being too entitled. It's like, we're not getting views. That's something that can happen and will happen to everyone. And it's just part of how YouTube works.
Better to assess it and try to figure it out versus like sit and complain about it.
Exactly. This.
Last one before we get into what to do while you're making videos, how to prove like videos.
Yeah, so, okay. Seriously, you're starting up. You want to do a video. Be yourself. Be authentic to yourself. It's actually funny. I intentionally, like, obviously you heard me call myself gay in the beginning of this video.
Did you? They'll have to rewind.
I believe I want, I'm gay.
They'll have to rewind and check and watch the whole video again.
But so people have been mentioning that they don't, I keep being comments saying they don't want to know I'm gay. It's like, I'm not going to stop being exactly who I am or mentioning it. I'll mention it all I want. It's my channel, and I'm going to be me on my freaking channel.
Oh, yeah. So it's really important to just be yourself, put yourself out there. I mean, there's obviously this fear of doing that because you're vulnerable.
You're scared because you fear when you put your real self out there.
There's rejection.
If people don't like you, you get rejected, and
the brain's like, what do I do if they reject me?
I mean, rejection is super hard. That's the reason we don't ask people out that we like, is because we're scared of rejection. It's a super hard thing to deal with, and it's on a macro scale when you do it on YouTube, because It's like, well, there's so many viewers on YouTube, and it's like they're not choosing me. It feels like everyone's rejecting me.
Yeah, so that's like a combination of don't tie your self-worth to the channel, but also I think one of the best things you can do is to just be yourself. Like, people like you, right? Everybody has people they like you, and they like you for a reason. Probably some of the good qualities you have as a person, and let those shine through the camera.
Yeah, and if even being the authentic you will have some flaws. Like the authentic us would do a lot of arguing 2 years ago. That was authentic. That was completely authentic. But it wasn't good for YouTube, and it wasn't what people wanted to see, and it was making our videos worse. So we channeled it, and we took the bickering. We still go back and forth. We still do that. But it's nicer.
We shaped it into a positive light. I mean,
exactly.
If you're doing something negative and toxic, you should probably stop doing it.
Exactly. And you can take something, and it's not like we changed who we were. We just changed how we presented it. The exact same thing of like our back and forth. We just changed it from like an arguing to we go back and forth and we critically try and like pick apart each other's points and point out what's wrong.
All right. So I think this is where a lot of like the meaty, actionable stuff is. If you're making videos, I'm going to throw this out as advice, tried and true. It's mostly stuff we do or have done or wish we did in the past to get where we are now. So the first thing you want to do with your channel, once you've started making videos, now you're like, all right, let's get to it. Let's get down the grind. You got to find your niche. You got to play to your strengths. We started out kind of just doing whatever, and we kind of zeroed in on magic, but sometimes that's still not enough for a new channel. You might want to zero in on like one format or one aspect of it.
Your niche is whatever you want. I mean, even people go niche even more niche than Commander. It's like, so you start out, you're like, all right, we can talk about anything.
Yeah.
Then we went all magic. Okay, we really pinned that down. Now we're Commander. People go even more niche than that. CEDH.
Yeah.
It's like you can just keep breaking down into these little sections of everything and find what you're good at. Find what you know about. I want to say something of playing to your strengths. The creator, MTG Comedian. He is a very good CEDH deck builder. He's very good at writing scripts. He's very good at presenting. And he does all of this in such a way. He's a smaller channel, but he plays to the strengths. And he knows what he does well, and he presents it well. And that is the key, to take whatever you're good at and make it your videos.
Yeah, if you're like this vibrant, moving around person, you're maybe good to be on camera. But if you're like shy and you don't want you're worried about your appearance or people see you, maybe you're better doing voiceover. That's perfectly fine to do sort of a presentation, like PowerPoint, moving things around and just voice it over. You don't have to be on screen. So
there are infinite different strengths. Everybody is different.
Everybody has strengths.
You have to figure out what you're good at. If you want now. One, I want to say that content creation isn't even for everybody. Mm-hmm. It's not something everyone should get into. And it's not even something everyone should like try. It's just, it is a tough thing. And if you have the right strengths, you can use them in content creation. But when you're doing content, you got to find them, find those niches, find those strengths.
And your niche could just be Magic the Gathering if you feel like it. Some people can pull that off.
Yeah. And another thing, like it kind of goes along with strengths, but it's a little different. It's your competitive advantage. What do we do that's different than other people? Well,
yeah, what do you bring to the table? Why would anyone choose your video over all the other videos like it?
So one of our things is a competitive advantage we have is we're two people. We've always been two people from the beginning. It let us split the payload. It let us do more work. I deal with major depression, and I've had a lot of down, and BZ has picked up the slack. And like that's a competitive advantage we have because honestly, I don't know how well this channel would be doing if it was just one of us either way, because we've both dealt with depressive times in our life. What in this channel state that might have caused the channel to dip a lot.
Right, but even on camera, being able to bounce ideas back and forth, agree, disagree, make jokes, laugh at the jokes is a lot different of a dynamic than one person doing a talking head. So I think that's like huge on this, and it makes it kind of feel more friendly and like homey and like, hey, there's like we're just hanging out, goofing around, and it's not like scripted, like I have this full script and I'm just like reporting things to you. So that's definitely one thing. I also think we've just been playing Magic for a while, so we're not afraid to say things with confidence. We kind of just know what we're talking about, at least in our realm of what we're playing, so we can easily give advice without, feeling weird about it.
Yeah, exactly. That was something we definitely had. We were already, by the time we started the channel, I was 7 years into Magic. He was like 15 years into Magic.
I've played Magic since I was 12, so I'm like 13 years in currently.
Yeah, so we were both like I was like 7 years. He was like literally 10 years into Magic at that point, and we just had that advantage of like when we were starting, we had both been playing for a long time. It's funny, you think. Because, like, if you're in the Magic community on something like Twitter or you're in other places, you'll see a lot of people who have been playing longer than you.
Yeah.
I get messages all the time, and people are always like, I started 6 months ago. I started 3 months ago. I started a year ago. It's like, there's actually so many more players. Like if you've been playing for 2 years, you've probably been playing longer than a lot of players.
You're a boomer.
You've been playing Magic forever compared to a lot of people.
Yeah. One thing I think is important when you're small and you're just getting into it and you're building out and you're testing the waters. I think it's important to build credibility over time, like we're talking months or a year, before you start doing opinion pieces. This is like really specific. It's like if news happens and a card gets banned and some news drops and you get all the people who, rush to make the video right away and react to it, then a couple of days pass. I don't think there's any benefit to you, a smaller channel, than saying like, hey, this card got banned, here's my thoughts on it. Because nobody, like literally, it's not anything wrong with you. Nobody knows you. You haven't been out. It's just like your channel's been out for 2 months and nobody has time to know you. But when they have time to know you and get your opinions and get a feel for how you are, that's when you can start sort of doing that. We learned that where we're like, man, every time we have one of these opinion things, it doesn't do well, even up to, a couple thousand subscribers, because it's like, nobody knows who we are.
Exactly.
Why would they want to hear our opinion?
That really is true. I mean, there are, like when Golos got banned, we did do a video right away for that one, but we were also bigger at that time.
Yeah.
When Golos got banned, why don't jump into this race of like making the first video about Golos being banned? Because guess what? In 2 hours, 17 channels have released a video about why Golos is banned, and yours is just going to get pushed down to the bottom because there are bigger voices than you. You're not the biggest channel, and we're not the biggest channel. So even then, it's the same exact thing. We're going to get pushed down below the Saffron Olives, the Commander's Quarters, these channels that are way bigger than us, and everyone rushes to hear their opinion. They click on their video.
Or they're more known for Magic news. And how many times do you need to hear the same news story over and over? Like twice, maybe. But yeah,
most.
So some of these opinion pieces, I think you can definitely hold back on, and you will not regret it. Another thing, I think this one's huge. When you're starting your video, you need to like hook people more so than everyone else. You need to hook someone in like the first 10 seconds or 30 seconds. You need to get their attention, and they need to know what the video is about, know what's going to happen. Maybe you throw in a joke or two. But one thing I see all the time is too many plugs. And when I say too many, I mean like more than one is probably too many. It's not a good use of your time, I don't think. What do you want to weigh in?
So smaller channels should do almost no plugs. I mean, when we first started, we did none. And then like a little bit into our channel, we started doing one subscribe at the beginning. And that was it. And it was 20 seconds, you're into the video every time. The meat of the content is starting in 20 seconds because we knew we had to make the absolute most of every single click on a video. Now, as you move and you get bigger, you still want to make the most of clicks. You really do. But you can start trying to make more money off it. You can go, hey, please look at our links. Please go to our Patreon. Please do this. As you get bigger and bigger, if you have, I'm just throwing out a number. I hope no one takes, if you have 1,000 subscribers even, I would say no plugs. Or maybe a sub plug that's 10 seconds long in the beginning. That's the most. And anything else you want to do, put it at the end of the video. That's what we did for at least a year and a half. Everything was at the end. Any plug that we possibly had was just at the end of the video because we didn't want to lose any views to people who are like, why are they plugging everything? Get out of here.
Well, it speaks to competitive advantage. Like that was an advantage of the Nitpicking Nerds channel over a lot of other ones. Like, hey, if you click our video, you're into the content without skipping in 30 seconds versus 2 minutes or whatever. So we had that edge for that time period. And it's just like part of the reason that you're plugging, a TCG player affiliate link or let's say Dragon Shield, whatever we do, is because we have an audience to actually send over there. And that'll make us money, and it's worth kind of spending the time in the beginning to mention it because we're sending people over there. But when you're brand new, you're not sending anyone anywhere. You're just trying to get some eyes on your content and slowly build up and get into that. But so it just feels kind of like you're wasting valuable time when you're plugging a link that now people aren't going to use. And it's not. I'm not hating on anyone. I'm just trying to say I think there's a more efficient way to start your videos. Just hey, I'm making a deck tech on Muldrotha. Here's Muldrotha deck tech like that, like really quick. Maybe cut to an intro.
Yes. So I want to say next, social media. We're talking about Facebook. We're talking about Twitter,
Instagram,
and now I want to say specifically Twitter. Twitter is amazing for networking. It is how I have gotten to know almost everyone I know in the Magic community.
Yeah, meeting friends, bumping elbows.
So if you're I think Twitter for content creation is super important for networking. Mm-hmm. Incredibly important. We didn't use it for a long time.
Yeah.
And we have gained a lot just from using it. I can't even tell you how many cool people I've met just from Twitter.
Relationships.
And become friends or just became acquaintances, any type of thing from Twitter. But I don't think Twitter, Facebook, or any social media, at least in our experience, is useful for getting views. It doesn't translate. When someone goes to Twitter, they're not looking to find a video to watch. They're looking
Right.
to scroll Twitter. They're looking to have conversations with people, that kind of stuff, socially interact. They're not looking to watch a video. So I don't think it converts very much. In fact, I know it doesn't convert very much because I've seen the numbers when we've put videos onto Twitter.
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter are like short form things where you just absorb something, scroll, absorb it, like it, dislike it, react to it immediately. And a 30-minute video is like, that's probably not what their mindset is at. And I just think in general, it just hasn't been worth it at all. I mean, you can pump some money into it and try to like actually get it out there, force Facebook to show it to like 1 million people. I just don't think that's a good use of the time either. I think you're better off networking on the social media, and maybe you'll bring some people over, but I don't think bringing people over is going to be your number one priority.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Build relationships on Twitter, meet people. You will meet awesome people in the MTG community. Yeah, there are a lot of complainers in the community, but there is just as many amazingly cool people in this community. There's types of MTG content. What type of content do you want to do?
It's all different.
It's all different. There's news, and I'm just going to list some news. So for news, I think you have to be a big channel. You want to be, like you said earlier, about the opinion pieces. It's the same thing for any kind of MTG news.
It's tough because nobody needs multiple pieces of the same news. Deck text could be different, opinion pieces can be different, but nobody needs the same news.
And you can do MTG news, but it's interesting. It's like spoilers or news. I'm going to put spoilers in that section. They're news. So if you want to do something like daily spoilers, you better make sure people care.
What's your competitive advantage? You just got to figure it out.
If you're a personality that people love your opinion and that's what you got, that's gonna work. Saffron Olive is, I use like I said in charisma. He's a Greek god with charisma. I said
The Greek god of charisma.
He's the Greek god of charisma, and that man can talk about anything.
Waffles.
He literally, I bet you we can make a stupid video about waffles. He can talk, and people care because he has good opinions.
Got the energy.
He's got the energy, and he makes good content. He can do news all day. People care about our opinions a lot. I don't think we can do news, not because we're not. It's because people only need 1 or 2 news channels, and I'm not going to compete with Saffron Olive when it comes to news. I'm just not going to do it because the man's going to destroy me.
Yeah. There's also the next type is deck text. This is how we kind of got started because I think it's a good way to get people to search. Because usually if someone's searching for a deck tech, they're already like, we are already deep, and this person wants to build this Muldrotha deck or whatever. They are like going deep, past EDH rec, trying to find examples of decks, and I think that happens enough. But the market is very saturated. So in general, I think if you're starting to get traction, deck techs just aren't something that does well any channel in all of Magic content. Just because people are kind of going on their own to make decks. It's not something people come to every time. They're definitely searching EDH rec. They can maybe search Scryfall, and they're using Moxfield or Tapped Out or something to build a deck, and they just don't need to go to the internet a lot of the time. So you'll find that past the first couple, dozen videos you make, deck techs are not going to be your number one thing. I just wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100% about that. Other than the fact that you said they don't go to the internet while listing 7 things they do on the internet.
YouTube is the internet. That's all that matters. YouTube is all there is.
Yeah, but regardless, like you said, it's an oversaturated market. I think it's a good way to start getting into searches and have people start finding you. It's a great way to start, but it's something you just kind of move on from because they don't get a lot of views, especially when you start building your viewer base. Your viewer base cares about your opinion on a lot of stuff, but they might not care about, like we just did Silas Rentago. It's like yesterday. That was our video yesterday. It's like I don't care about a Silas Rentago deck. Why would I care about that?
It's really specific. I mean, how many people want to see what that deck looks like? So, if we average...
actually.
If we average 20,000 views, this one's getting like 3,000, and we're happy to make it. We're not complaining. But it's just like, hey, that's an example. You can go look on our channel. The deck tags aren't performing well.
Exactly. There's also the podcast style. This is kind of what we do. We don't
Talking heads, maybe?
We don't actually do...
audio only
podcasts on Spotify or any of that. But it's a podcast style where we just sit down and we talk about subjects, cards, and we just go back and forth.
Limited cuts.
It's all about just what we're saying. This is a style that is very popular. There's a lot of this. But also, I think it's some of the stuff people are looking for. People want to learn. They want to have their opinions. They want to hear new opinions and new cards and new things about the game.
Yeah, and with the podcast, you're also coming for the environment. Like, what do these people come together as a group and make? And you can't really replicate it. No one can really replicate anyone's group. You're not seeing... I mean, show me a channel with 2 or more people on it that is super alike, unless you're trying to copy. I mean, we sound nothing like the Command Zone. We sound nothing like Commander's Brew. They don't sound like each other. They all have completely different vibes and like energies and rapports back and forth.
Yeah, we are two guys sitting in front of microphones, but that's where the similarities just add. This next one I want to say is super important. This is also becoming, I think, an extremely oversaturated market.
Yeah, it's getting there.
And the key to this is you probably should avoid this most of the time, gameplay. And why I say you should avoid it most of the time is I think you need to be going high quality on gameplay. It is incredibly important. The competition is fierce and absolutely fierce. Like, we're trying our best to make our high quality gameplay, but we're talking about I Hate Your Deck. Lynch creates amazing high quality content. We're talking about the Command Zone with game nights. This stuff is amazingly produced, high quality content, edited amazingly. And all of this, and then there's a million little other channels below. I mean,
anywhere on the spectrum from just starting to CDH to, the top people. We're not saying you have to compete with the top people, but it's just like there's a lot of gameplay out there. So you got to really stylize it, bring something new, or have the equipment ready. And a combination of those things, because it's just going to be tough.
Yeah, one thing
it's like starting a video game channel. Like, it's going to be brutal. It's way harder than a lot of other channels.
Yeah, okay. It's so like with gameplay specifically, high quality is super important. I don't think from everything I've seen and all the stats that I've been able to gather from I look at YouTube all the time. Webcam Commander does not translate very well to YouTube.
Same with MTGO.
Same with MTGO. Now, that's not saying that nobody's succeeding in that category because Commander class does do well with that. And Alias V's, what is
series? It wasn't titled for a while, right?
I can't remember what it was called. But Alias V is doing a series that also is doing pretty well, and it is overspelled too. That you can succeed in areas that aren't necessarily the best to succeed. I'm just saying, overall, it's the in-person gameplay that's high quality, filmed and edited well. That's what you want to be doing. If you're going to try gameplay, you better throw yourself into it.
Next thing that every video needs, because it's part of the reason or part of the way you actually get seen by anyone, is thumbnails. That's like the first impression. It's thumbnail, title, and I'm talking about thumbnails right now. I think there's a lot of traps with thumbnails. A lot of people want to communicate too much. What you really got to like focus on not overcrowding it. It might look like you're doing less work. You're like, that's all the time I put into it, but you need to just make something that is appealing to look at and communicates what the video is about. What my little rule that I like to follow is you want to sort of pose a question to the person who sees it that they might want answered. Like, hey, what's the best card in Commander? And they're like, geez, I don't know. What do they think is the best card? Like, I don't know. Maybe I want to click and find out. It's not clickbaiting. I guess we can talk about clickbaiting, and there's like two different definitions of it, and I think one's good and one's not. So you're trying to get a click. That's what everyone on YouTube is doing. There's good ways to do it and bad ways to do it. And the overcrowding just ruins it. If you're trying to put, if you have like more than 3 words in your thumbnail, I think it's probably too many. You can't afford to make the font really small. It's unreadable. You can't communicate. It's not a newspaper where they want to have to read 5 sentences. We're talking like 2 words that just say, this is what my video is, because they have the title right next to it to read what it's about.
Something I think is very, like you mentioned that is very important, is people start to think of, they look at YouTube and they look at their thumbnail on YouTube and they see it. But honestly, more views than anything come from phone. It really is. So you have to make your thumbnail so it is appealing on a screen, this big. You have to actually make it so it's something that wants to be clicked from that screen. Because if you're just looking at your thumbnail on the computer and you're assuming they're going to
zoomed in, like,
yeah, you're zoomed in. It's like, oh, look at all this. This looks super cool. But then it gets smaller. It looks like crap sometimes.
You can't read it,
and you can't read it, and you need the phone clicks. But I never realized it. When I always watch YouTube on my computer, and I never realized what percentage of clicks came through the phone.
Most people are on mobile.
Most people are on mobile. That's where you're getting your clicks from. So make your thumbnails so they actually look good on mobile.
Yeah, when I'm scrolling for Meat Hook Massacre videos, I don't got time. If I can't see like Meat Hook Massacre or something about it on your thumbnail, I'm just going to scroll past it because it's not even worth my time. But if you have a clear enough image and I can recognize in a split second what it is, then maybe I'll pause, read the title, and then you have a chance for me to click on it.
Yeah. Also, something good about thumbnails is, and this is part of something later too, is let's just move it up here. Being branding yourself.
Yes.
So your thumbnails can have unique looks. Do your own thing. Don't go to Command Zone's video. Look at their thumbnail and then make their thumbnail. Do your own thing. They have good thumbnails. They have creative thumbnails. They might even have some of the best thumbnails. None of that matters. You need to make your own unique thumbnail. Now you can learn from their thumbnails. You could say, what is it about this that gets clicks? What is it about this is good? What are they doing on their thumbnail? You can do that with anybody's thumbnail. Don't just straight up go, that's the format I'm going to use. I'm going to just copy paste their format and use the exact same thing. Just don't do that. There's no reason to create something at least different enough that it feels like it's you. Every thumbnail we make is intended to be our own unique thumbnail. And something that's really good as you grow as a channel is we put our faces in thumbnails because people are looking for Nitpicking Nerds. Our logo is in all of our thumbnails because it's recognizable.
Not all of them, but a lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of them.
The shorts anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you can see our logo, you can see our faces, something that identifies that this is a Nitpicking Nerds video. It's not just some like a rainforest. Like nobody's gonna click that one to find the Meat Hook Massacre video.
Last point about thumbnails, something you just can't do, is not a good idea. The bottom right corner is off limits. Don't put anything in the bottom right corner because that's where the time code goes. You can't get rid of it. It's on mobile, it's on desktop. Keep track of where it is. Make a little red image is what I do. Nothing goes there because it's just going to get blocked. If you have deck tech there, it's going to read 10 minutes and 29 seconds, not deck tech.
So before we hop into we're going to do clickbait, but titles we'll do really quick here.
Yeah, it's right next to the thumbnail.
Go ahead. You talk about these because I don't actually do our titles. Thumbnails and titles are Beezy's thing, so go ahead, Beezy.
Titles are really fun to make. You got to put a lot of thought into it. You want it to be appealing, honest, crucial is a crucial point, and just communicate what it is in very few words. I like to go 50 characters or less before they know exactly what the video is because otherwise it starts to get cut off and then it runs on. Even if I just take a random video that we made, like the 10 best commanders of all time, which was the finale at the time of ranking every commander, I want you to know that it's the 10 best commanders of all time. That's the most important snippet. I'm not going to put ranking every commander episode number 370,000 and then it's like the best and you just can't even read it. And it's just, you got to front load the most important information so that they know, hey, 5 words in, this is what it is. It's not, you don't want to usually lead with like your series name, the episode number. It's kind of filler. I think it should go at the end. It's not what people are actually looking for. They're looking for the meat of the video.
Absolutely. So getting into clickbait then.
Boo.
So clickbait is two things. There's either clickbait is making your video like super appealing, clickbaity, like, hey, what 10 best commanders? I gotta find out. It's like, but there's a big difference because there's the other definition of clickbait, which is not when you don't deliver. You're baiting somebody by putting something that isn't true. It's misleading, or it's just not what you're talking about in the video. And there is a lot of content creators who do this, and I think it is incredibly bad to mislead in any way with your titles, your thumbnails, and make people think that something is true. I have had people literally, after seeing a thumbnail, go, "Is this card banned?" And I have to go, "No, it's not banned." And that's the bad kind of clickbaiting. You want to be using clickbait in the first sense.
Yeah, that's why I have a problem with it. And for me, I only talk about clickbait as this negative thing. Getting clicks on YouTube, trying to make your video clickable, the clickability is just like one of the most important parts of being a YouTuber.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing bad about it. Every single YouTuber does it. That's just part of what it is. I could say, we're going to talk about commanders and which ones we think are the best. That could be the video title, but that's not good for me, and it's not good for you because you have no idea what I'm talking about. So we're really maximizing for both. But if I say Mark Rosewater got arrested, and then you click on the video and it's just a deck tech of me on my bed showing you my Ristic Study deck, it's just like, what the heck?
Prison deck.
It's literally just, I just lied to you to get a click, and it's not a good way. You're never going to get subscribers that way. No one's going to think you're reliable or trustworthy. It's not a good long-term strat.
It's absolutely awful, and I think it is harmful to do actual clickbait. I really, it came up on Twitter, Pleasant was like, people were calling for clickbaiting. He wasn't clickbaiting. Every one of his titles, he delivers in the video on what he says is in the title.
Even the goofy ones, it was like Billie Eilish says Magic the Gathering tournament. There's a 3-second video. She says Magic the Gathering tournament. That's it.
I've honestly never seen a Pleasant Kenobi video where he put something in the title or in the thumbnail that he didn't deliver on in the video. And that's the key, is doing that.
I think it's the difference between clickbait, the word bait meaning you think it's one thing and it isn't, and I pulled you in and I got you. It's just click. Well, we just do click. All right, that's what you want. You want to click? You're not baiting anyone.
Yeah, there's a whole analogy I could go into, but there's no point. Just don't lie to people in your thumbnails to get them to watch your video. That is garbage.
Mm-hmm. The next thing, you want to release consistently. Try to craft a schedule for yourself over time as you get the hang of things. Not immediately. There's no point to doing that. Once you get a hang, say, all right, videos like we did Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That was our schedule for a while. It just helps that extra little bit, because you're going to make X videos a week anyway. if people know when they are and when to show up, it's just slightly better for you.
And your schedule does not have to be a lot. You don't have to kill yourself. It can be, I will release a video once a month.
Once a week, yeah.
I will release a video once a week. I will release a video twice a week.
Sometime on Monday.
Figure out your schedule and stick to it. It helps a lot to have a schedule knowing that I have to make a video for X day. Now, obviously, Nitpicking Nerds just make it for every day, but don't do that unless you can afford it. Unless you have the time and the dedication to do it. Then do it. Absolutely put a video out daily because I think it's a great way to get yourself out there. But I think you should just start small. One a week, I think, is a great spot to start.
And just be consistent.
Yes, be consistent.
What's
Absolutely.
Next? Oh, we got capitalize on virality. If you have a video that does well, even, relatively to your channel, like if your normal is 100 and you get a video with 3,000, like, hey, something happened there. That wasn't blind luck for the most part. It's probably that you did something right or something people liked or that were searching for. So you can try to take what you did differently in that video and replicate it into future different topics, or have a spin-off. Like, oh, I was talking about the band list. Okay, well, let me talk about one band card or something in a different light. Don't copy the video, just make the same video again. Don't do that. Figure out what you got right and try to replicate it.
Yeah, learn from everything. Like, this isn't just capitalizing on just something that does well. Also, use it when something does bad. If your average video gets 150 views, let's just say, and you get 10 on one, why wasn't this watched? What is it about this? Try and draw conclusions. Now, maybe you can't draw a solid one, but you can go, hey, I think it was this. Like, deck tech, like, oh, it was a deck tech. Like,
keeping my eye on this.
I'm keeping my eye on that. Maybe I won't do deck techs anymore. And you can just learn from every video you put out. Whether it's popular or unpopular,
you still gain information.
You gain information every time you put a video out in some way.
Yeah, you have access to like mountains of information. It's super fun. I get lost in it a lot of the time. One thing that came up for us eventually was sponsors, and I'm assuming you just wanted to mention our stance on sponsors?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different ways to look at sponsors. You need money to run a YouTube channel, especially as you get bigger and as if you wanted to make it a job.
Yeah, ad revenue is not enough. Let's say ad revenue isn't really enough for two people with the size we are now. So we're pretty big.
It would so our exact size for the channel right now would be more than enough to support one person.
Right, but not two.
And so we have other sources of income like TCG Player affiliate link, Dragon Shield affiliate link, Patreon. People help us out. We appreciate you guys a lot, honestly. And that's all fine and dandy. So sponsors, our stance specifically, and again, this is not right.
Just more of a PSA on what our stance on sponsors is if you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. We're not necessarily correct, and someone else isn't wrong for doing it a different way. We won't do any sponsorship or tell you to use a product that we do not personally endorse. The only one we've really done so far for sponsorship is Into the AM.
Right, non-Magic.
Non-Magic, because yes, those
are the Magic ones we use also. But it's obvious like, oh, this is a T-shirt company. It's like, well, they sent us some T-shirts. We tried them on. We loved them. Everybody was complimenting us on them. We're like, all right, well, let people try to buy these.
Exactly, because we actively wear those T-shirts, and that's a product I can tell you is good. We're not going to do a sponsorship for
bulldozers.
I
don't know. I don't drive one. I can't recommend one to you. So it's kind of that's just our stance on it. I don't know. It's more of a PSA than advice on anything. Figure out your own stance though, and then you can filter all of the sponsorships you eventually get.
And you don't have to, like I said, you don't have to take our stance. Our stance is completely our own. In that regard, a lot of other people do a lot of ads because the money is good and it helps the channel a lot.
Or they believe in their products. I don't know. Or they're not in their head.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing an ad you don't necessarily 100% believe in.
Let's go to the last one. Friendly competition. It's good to network, bump elbows, get buddy with people, and it's goofy to be like, hey, got you on subscribers this month. Check with TubeBuddy. By the way, TubeBuddy's really good. I would recommend TubeBuddy. But friendly competition can escalate into like hate, jealousy, maybe envy, and just things that are not helpful versus bouncing ideas off of. Finally, someone I can talk to about making a YouTube video about Magic. It's so specific. You can't talk to anybody. Bounce ideas off. Get things going. How have views been for you lately? Oh, man, maybe we're both in a natural dip. Like, a bunch of stuff you can gain, but the thing that you got to avoid is, like, just starting to get this toxic mindset of, like, oh, man, they're doing better than me, or I'm doing so much better than them. Like, ugh.
Someone's success is not your failure.
Ooh, nice.
It's a very true thing, is that just because someone else is succeeding, doing better than you, or anything along those lines, doesn't mean that you're doing bad. If you're a smaller channel than somebody, or even if you're a bigger channel and somebody's getting more views than you, it doesn't matter.
It means you have something to learn at the bare minimum, right?
Like, we want to be the best channel we can be. For a friendly competition, we have everyone listed in a Google Doc
We just keep track.
how many subs they have, and it's just we want to see where we rank. Basically, it's interesting to us, and it's not about beating anyone or being. It's like we want to be the best we can be, and we're gonna keep growing. We're gonna keep moving up that little ladder, and our goal is eventually to be the top. But it's not about being better than the command zone.
We're not better than anybody.
We're not better than anybody.
Different content. It's kind of for information only. Like that's part of the reason I was like, hey, views on Magic are just down. I just checked everything. They're down. Like it's good information to have.
Exactly. Yeah. So be friendly with the competition.
For sure.
It's really cool. I remember specifically Prof was on Command Zone, and he said it was really cool that his numbers were competing with Command Zone. Like that's fun.
Yeah,
that's fun competition. He's not putting his self-worth on that, but he's going, hey, yes, this is cool that I'm competing with, the big boys, the Command Zone.
Yeah, hey, I'm doing something right here.
Yeah, exactly. So, and also don't get down once you're almost never going to be the highest succeeding channel in anything.
Whoa.
Yeah, exactly. So be fine with that. Accept that other people are going to get more views than you, unless you're literally the biggest channel.
Just be the best you can be.
Be the best channel you can be. Get the most views you can get.
Hey, the video's over.
The video is over.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you all for listening to that rant. That was
I feel like this might be a 45-minute or
45-minute
three-quarter hour or rolls right off the tongue. Do a shout out.
These are not terms that people use.
Do a shout out.
The shout out is special shout outs to every single one of our patrons. You guys support us directly using the Patreon link. Literally takes you over there, and you guys just are giving us money. Thank you so much. If you're not subscribed, also get subscribed.
Quick announcement that we forgot in the tune-up and in the intro to this video. Happy birthday. A very strong happy birthday to everyone whose birthday was yesterday, and to everyone whose birthday is today. Double whammy. You can share a birthday. It's okay.
I can't believe we're failing the birthdays. Oh, man.
I actually, it makes me really sad to think that someone was disappointed that we didn't wish them happy birthday.
I know!
Can I go back in time and wish you happy birthday? I really meant it. I really wanted to say it. It just must have slipped our mind.
I also feel bad for the people on the weekend because we do shorts that don't
We can't specifically say happy birthday. I've debated tossing in a happy birthday just at the end for no reason. People will just be reading this because people will just watch and go, what? Why did he just say that?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I have there's two. We already have it.
We have to get into this. We have so much stuff to talk about still.
Oh.
TCG player affiliate link. Go to the description, click the link, buy the cards, and when you do it, we get a kickback on the order. And the same is true for Dragon Shield EU or US link. That's two different links. Go find the one that you live in, click it, buy cards. Well, you can't buy cards. Sorry. Buy sleeves, buy binders, buy playmats, whatever. We get a kickback on that too, and it's great.
Yeah, you talk way too fast sometimes. That nobody's gonna get what you just said right there.
I like the video if you got what I said.
So we have to do some shout outs.
We got to shout out some awesome patrons of ours, like Scott Jask, who gave us money on Patreon. Scott, you the man.
Yeah, and also Chris Nicholas. He's just got two first names. This man's insane.
It would be Nicholas if it wasn't Nichols.
Yeah, he's got two first names. This man's insane.
I know so many Nichols. There's also John Moist. Just short and sweet name. I have no problems with that. John Moist.
There's also Derek H. Hughes. I believe the H stands for Hughes, so his name is Derek Hughes.
And let's not fail to mention Kevin R. Burford. Solid supporter of the channel for a long time now.
Yeah, Kevin R. Burford is
a couple months for you, Kevin.
Tune up, yeah. We also got Lexia XVX.
Charlie XCX's sister.
Yeah, I mean...
Or brother, I have no idea.
Yeah, well, how would you ever know?
Skylar Ward. You are so cool.
We also got Gordon Grabback.
Nailed it.
Perfect. Didn't even have to read off the computer.
Oh, Pool Party. Pool Party ILLAOI. I don't know if that means something.
I hope it's not inappropriate.
If it's inappropriate, I'm sorry, but I can't check it out. But it's a pool party.
Yes, and there's also Thomas Webster, the owner of Webster's Dictionary.
Wow, he invented Webster's Dictionary?
Yeah.
Big supporter.
So the end of these videos,
the tidbit about our lives,
are known as the tidbit about our lives.
Not magic.
They're not magic related. If you don't care about anything except magic, click off the freaking video. I don't know what you're doing here. I am so...
Had some problems.
I mean... Nobody has a problem until we have, quote unquote, a political stance. And by a political stance, I mean a political stance that opposes what they believe. It's nonsense, and I don't care about it. I will be political, if I want to, because this is my YouTube channel. And if you don't like it, fine, go to my comments and I'll block you because you're an idiot. I'm so sick of all of that crap.
Well, we're talking about get your gayness out of my magic. It's like, wow, it's, what a coincidence that it just so happens that you hate when we mix magic and gay people, but when we talked about magic and then at the end we talked about stupid ads for Match 3 games on the iPhone, that was okay.
It's complete and utter BS. Because the fact of the matter is, if we went to the end of this video and I just started talking about my wife and my kids, no one human being would ever complain in the comments. So if you're complaining in the comments about me being gay and mentioning that I have a partner or mentioning anything about being gay is absolutely 100% hypocritical of you. And it's BS. And people do say that. They're like, I don't want to hear about your partner at all, man or woman. It's like, you're full of, I want to say SHIT, but I'm not going to.
You basically did.
You're full of crap. You're so full of it is not even funny.
Not cool.
Yeah. Peace out, Tribe Scouts.